and music artists, and you'll be able to meet the person behind the brand. Each show will have a giveaway, so stay tuned to win.
Woo! Thank y'all as always for tuning in. Thank you, my wonderful husband, for always doing the Blueprint Shuffle for us. As always, guys, we have a special guest today. Let's see if he is ready. We have one of our local rappers. Let's see if he is here. Hey, so I see we
Can't
have.
hear.
You can't hear?
I can't hear.
Okay. All right, guys. So I have somebody already tuning in saying, hey, so I need a favor. For some reason, it just say Facebook user, drop your name below. We love to speak to the audience. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for tuning in. Our guest is having a little bit of technical difficulties, so give him just a second. He is going to bless us this evening with all the wonderful things that he have going on, guys. Y'all know Unmasking the Blueprint. We love to have artists on the show. We love to have models on the show. We love to have entrepreneurs on the show. That's what we're about. We're all about uplifting artists, uplifting entrepreneurs. Their voices need to be heard. They are amazing. They are doing great things. And so we love to have them on the show. I just want to let y'all know something real quick. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you know somebody who has been a victim, I'm gonna say survivor of domestic violence, please send them my way. I'm gonna have a whole red carpet show for them every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I'm still gonna do my entrepreneurs on our regular show. Okay, let's see if he's available.
Good to go.
How are you, Black Prophet? How are you?
Peace to you.
I
You
am
know,
so glad that it's working.
yes, the enemy go ahead and tempt you to try to discourage you, you know what I'm saying? But we're not going to let that happen today.
We
No,
are
man.
not. We are not. I am so honored to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And so tell us, before I go into my questions, I kind of want the audience to know a little bit of background about you first.
Okay, so I'm going to actually give y'all my government. My name.
I was going to do that.
You know what I mean? Like actually government. Like, oh, no. No, so my name is Dominique, but I go by Black Prophet. I'm 33 years old. So what am I? A Pisces. I don't really get into astrology, but I'll take long walks on the beach and stuff like that too. I like romance and all that good stuff. So if y'all, ladies, dating profile over here. I just FYI.
FYI, ladies. He say he's single, ladies.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm out here. And so I write. I'm a producer. I'm an artist. I'm an entrepreneur. So that's kind of about me. And then I think we could get a bit more in detail as we go through the interview to see like how this all comes together.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Guys, if anybody new to watching the show, as we get to talking, if you have any questions for him, drop them below, okay?
Yep.
If there's anything he don't want to answer, he just gonna go beep next, okay? Beep next.
Please don't ask me if I'm hot because clearly I am. Okay, like that's just me. I'm a sweaty person. I run hot, but that's just me, y'all. My students get on me all the time, so that's another thing. I've been in education for about what? I've been a teacher of record for about 4 years.
Okay.
For like actually 4 or 5 years, and I've been in education as a whole for about like 8 years.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Just yeah.
That's a great field. That's a great field.
It is. It can be very rewarding.
It is. I love kids. I own a daycare for 12 years.
Oh, for real? That's awesome.
I love the kids. Like they're my favorite.
Awesome. And that's the age if it's a daycare, that's the age they just like to cling on you. For like you say "Hachoo," and they just want to cling on you. It don't matter. Bless
you, Miss Rachel. I love you. Kids, like what? Like kids are so amazing because they tell you, you're so beautiful, you're so nice. Like they just uplift you,
Yes, they do. They see the things that other people may not see in you, and that's beautiful.
Exactly. I love it. And so, okay, so I know you said that you is in you teach, correct?
Yes.
And so how did you go from teaching to doing music?
So me coming in music, and I always tell people this because some people like I'm from New York, and people ask me like, "Hey, how did you end up in Texas?" And I can't. It's never like a simple, straightforward like story for me.
That's probably why you sweating, because you
Yeah, you know, it's the spirit upon me right now. It's the spirit upon me, knowing that I gotta tell what's going on. You know, no, but seriously, like, so a little bit more about me is that I am a man of God. And I can't mention music without mentioning Jesus. For me personally, because if you knew my story, which I'm trying to tell you a bit now, it's like I was always a spiritual person, but as a person of color, I thought there was a lot of inconsistencies within the Bible, pertaining to me and our people. Okay. And as I've gone through, like when I realized, just going through this life and experiencing life, I just realized what God's brought me through. So when I'm saying like how does all this like come together when it comes to this music aspect, right? Music, anyone will tell you, my mama will tell you, and I think she's watching right now, that like I've always been a writer, I've always been a poet, I've always done things like that. Like I've always been making music, but I never like really pursued it. So she thought I was going to be like a journalist because I had a journalism class in high school and I was really good at it. But it wasn't my passion. So lo and behold, it might have been around maybe 3 years ago or so, 3-4 years ago, where, I haven't accepted Jesus yet. I'm still like feeling like kind of rather unfulfilled. You know what I mean? Like just still looking for what I'm supposed to be doing, knowing that I'm good at these things. So like I'm good at working with students, but is that really what I want to do? I kind of fell into this, but is that what I want to do? And so that's what I had to like really think through. And so the journey to get to this point of doing music was when I realized, Jesus delivered me from something that I was in trouble with. And then in the honor of that covenant, I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm gonna follow you. Cool. The moment that I followed my Jesus was when I was able to go ahead and say, bet, this is what I want to do with my life. And it's funny because like, you ever had something that you wanted to do, but you just kept making up excuses for doing it. Ooh! Like that's what I was talking about. So like the Lord had years ago told me you should be a music teacher, or you should be doing with music. You should do that. Why don't you go back and why don't you learn about music? And or why don't you teach music? And I kept saying, well, I don't have the skills. The moment the Holy Spirit came within me, or I accepted the Holy Spirit within me, or the God within me, then I could go ahead and say, yes, I want to do this. And there's not going to be something that's going to stop me from achieving that goal. So if it means that I want to do this, if I want to make music, I want to be a producer, I can't keep living in this world of I don't have these skills, so I can't do it. It just means I have to go out and get those skills to do what I want to do. And so when I'm thinking about how this comes full circle, that's literally what happened. Like God I would say Jesus elected me, separated me, got me to a point where I almost got my lowest because I can be a very proud person, to where I'm like, something's got to give. Then when I had that moment and I realized what was really important to me, which is just family, my ability to be creative and to be free and freedom. Those are the things that he was like, well, you can do all of those things, like especially turning 30. You just like, I ain't trying to mess with no nonsense anymore. I'm not going to settle for anything that doesn't feed my spirit. So I was at that point, and then the Holy Spirit just, I would say, blessed me with the ability to see that you're always done music, Dominique. You're very good at teaching. You have these abilities. Why don't you combine them in this way? And then ever since then, I've been rocking and rolling.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Everything you said is so in tune with like everything that I do. Mm-hmm. I'm older than you. And it's funny because God has a way of humbling all his people. Mm-hmm. Those of us who, like you said, we're going to do things how we want to do them, or we know we should do them. We like, And he like, okay. Yeah. Okay. And he have a way to like, okay, God. Okay, I'm listening now.
Got to find a way to make yourself want to live, because that adage is very important of like, you can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink.
Absolutely.
And it's very real. You know what I mean? There are a lot of horses out here. I was a horse. I don't be no horse no more. I'm trying to drink. Okay, I'm trying to live.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm just saying.
Guys, this is good. I hope y'all is listening. I hope y'all paying attention. But it's something that he said, and I hope that y'all are listening. He said that he's still in school. He's still teaching the kids, okay?
Mhm.
And he's still following his passion. And the reason I wanted to make sure I said that, because a lot of times people think they should just jump into things, when education, that's also a passion. You know, not saying that God's not going to move you from that, but you know, those are his kids.
Yeah.
You know? And so of course that's not going to be, he don't be like, just leave my kids to do this. I mean, not saying he's not eventually, you know what I'm saying? But of course, maybe like you say, he has you doing both for right now.
And I received that. Thank you. That was definitely, ooh, my mama somewhere going like, you better tell him. You better tell him.
Okay, was that not the plan? I'm sorry.
And that was it. You just gave a prophetic message. I said, like, somebody somewhere. That's all you missing. I said, I'm here to tell somebody today. And a little bit more sweat like me with a handkerchief. You was there, Rachel. Okay, that you were speaking to me.
I'm glad I was listening. I'm glad I'll be listening to what he said to say. Okay,
I needed that message. Okay, I did. But,
so I don't know.
Ahead.
My shirt says I changed my mind.
Yes.
And so I've been sitting down, and sometimes we think I changed my mind is negative, but it's not. I changed my mind, meaning I had to sit back and think about what I had prior thought about, right? In a different light.
100%. And I think what I was looking at or thinking about as you were speaking about, I changed my mind. I think that gives a lot of credit to the fact of you of change as a whole. You know what I mean? Because as you grow, there are people that have been fortunate enough, and I say that very, not facetiously, like fortunate enough to like grow up knowing what they were going to do their whole life. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing, but don't begrudge the people that haven't done that or don't figure that out, that haven't figured that out yet. But on the same token, I also look at it and just look at it like as a way of being present. You know what I mean? Because it's okay. Like live with this now. Be okay with this now. And I'm gonna say I'm here to tell somebody today. Live with this now, because the Holy Spirit might move you to something else and bring you to something else, or you might be right here getting this present because it's in preparation for something you didn't even see was like you were going to need. I'm gonna have these tools right now, and I have my toolbox, and I have a saw, but I didn't know I was about to cut down a tree, or like stuff like that. That is how I find it to be interesting, how the Holy Spirit will move within you. So when I think about I changed my mind, I'm thinking about like being present, knowing that it's okay to make that shift at any point in time, because when you live for love, man, that's what you're going to chase. It's really cool.
Absolutely. Latoya said, sorry, baby, I'll be tearing up names. She said, if you're not changing, you're stagnant and you're not growing. And that's 100% absolutely true.
There we go.
And when you're a believer, when it says, I changed my mind, you may 100% be like, I'm going straight. And God will be like, right? And you be like, I'm going straight. And God like, right? And you like, I'm going straight. And God like, right? And I'm like, right? right? But I told everybody I was going straight. And God say, but I said, turn right. You know? And sometimes we like to announce to the world where we're going. And God instantly, because he instantly do a pivot, because the world don't always have our best interests at heart.
Oh Lord, you about to get me up off of this. I'm saying that's why I threw my hands up. Okay. Is with 2 or 3 gathered, okay? And I was shout out to Latanya Latanya Cardi out on here. Thank you for the question. That's my cousin.
Hi,
okay.
cousin.
And everybody else that's on here. Thank y'all that's for tuning in, man. They probably gonna make fun of me about me sweating. Like, dang, Dominique, what you do? You didn't put the AC on and nothing like that. I'm like, bro, it's Texas. Just understand.
It's Texas. It's like, I think it's 104. I think it feel like 104 today.
Comfortable. And that's
look,
supposed
and wait a minute. And hold up. And I got a hoodie.
I'm saying, okay, I had the nerve to wear.
I'm always cold.
I run hot. I got the blood of warrior. It's weird.
Cold.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But yeah, I changed my mind. I think is like a very, very powerful step. And I think like you've been. I'm glad this interview is happening because you really have been ministering me and feeding me. It's like I'm trying to tell you, Dominique. Here you go, prophet. The stuff that you've been kicking, you need to eat that too. I'm like, all right, yo, but it's a little uncomfortable. It's like 2 days old and it's been out. I don't know if I'm ready to digest that for myself yet. But so thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. A lot of times sometimes we have to hear it from somebody else to get it. I like to get up at 4 or 5 sometimes. Okay. When it's quiet. Yeah. And meditate and listen and worship. Yes. And hear the word without the noise. Yeah. Without the noise. And so like you said, so I can get that because I got my prophet saying, Rencher, that's great. Yeah, do that beat. And then I got my husband. My husband's my greatest cheerleader. Yes. And then God is like, I said no. I said no. Yes. And I'm like, but why though? Everybody else said yeah. Right? And so sometimes you have to find that quiet place so you can really know which way to go. But yes, we're not finna, we of course we're gonna always let God take over the conversation. You know what I mean? Of course, okay. But let's get back to you at this point. It's all right. Fine. So go ahead. No, go ahead. I was it was fine. I was like, he's an instrumental part as towards why I'm doing music in the first place. I can't mention, like I said before, no way to mention music without mentioning like my journey to acceptance of Christ and my life. And it's been a transformative point in my that right like when Christ is within you, you need evidence, right? And that's usually the evidence of transformation of how you carry yourself. And that's something that I'm pretty certain my family has just told me, like, I'm very happy to see that within you. So, but that's why I have no problem talking about the Lord, you know what I mean? But that's why I have no problem talking about the Lord and at any juncture, any time. It's my favorite, one of my favorite subjects. I tell people all the time, I don't push anything on you, but I'm going to have to apologize in advance because it's gonna be hard for me to communicate without giving him credit in so many things in my life. I have seizures. Yeah. So just to be able to communicate, I'm thankful, right? Yes. So there's so many, like, it's just hard for me to go a whole several sentences without giving him praise, right? So let me apologize to you in advance, right? For those who don't believe, I'm sorry, but hey, this is where I'm at in my journey, in my walk. 100%. But okay, so I love that. So do you mind us be asking a little bit? So what grade do you have? In terms of teaching? Secondary. Okay. So secondary in the state of Texas is anything from, I believe, 6th grade and on. So I teach, and I'm in special education, support special education. So I end up teaching. You got the big kid. Yeah, I got the big children. But I like the big children. You know what I mean? That's why you got the Lord. So like, but the misconception is that the big children aren't children. And that's the real fine line that some people struggle with playing, right? Because I need to let you know that you're still a child. I actually need to give you that permission to still be a child, even though you're 17, 18, 19 years old. I still need to give you the permission to be that child that you still are. Because too often when we get that age, we're like, oh man, I'm entitled, or you think that I'm grown.
But I need you to understand that you still can't. There are a lot of things that you still can't do, and there's a lot of things you still don't understand about this world before you go out into this world, right? So that's one piece. But then the other aspect is being able to understand and respect the inner adult that they are becoming, understanding that this is just not some complete empty vessel with no experience or life or no living having happened to it. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
they're 17. That means that's 17 years of living. You don't know what's happened. Shoot, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. What happens in 17 years? That's a lot of living that's happened in that amount of time. So you need to put respect on towards that aspect. So when you approach an adolescent, it's being able to tap into that childlike, but able to know, like, for me, that works perfectly, being able to cut that off and be like, let's be serious and have this serious conversation at the same time. It just works with me because I'm a very jovial person. I love to laugh. I love to joke. I love to make people happy, but I'm very serious about the things that I care about. And that's the feedback that I got from somebody. It's like, you really don't, when it's something that you think is like one of your,
So, he should be right back shortly. And so yes, hats off to him. With them kids, some older kids. Okay, guys, I love the babies, and so kudos to that. So when he get back, our next question is going to be to him is like, what do he have going on? I know he said he had family in the audience. Family. The next thing I was going to ask him to do is I wanted y'all to drop his links. His links to, I think he had told me Instagram. His links to
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. I apologize. It's technical difficulties.
No worries. You got, just we got this. Okay.
Okay.
So we got this, and so I was just thinking, let's let them know that we appreciate you being a teacher. That's the first thing I wanted to say.
Oh.
Okay. The second thing I wanted to do was, if you have anybody on here, if they could go ahead and start dropping your links, that'll be great.
Okay.
And then we want to know, what do you have? Do you have anything that's coming out? What are you currently doing?
All right. So one of the things that I'm always working on is music. So I always have a project that's going on.
Okay.
As far as my links, the main way, I have one central like drop page. So
Okay.
I would just say, now it's recorded, go to blackprophet.cs on Instagram. And in my link in bio, it has like all my breakout pages. It has my web page, my TikTok, my Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter.
Okay.
So like the way that you would do that, if you don't want to do that, just go into Instagram and click in the link. It's solo.to. So SOLO.to/Black Prophet, all one word. And my name is BLACKPROPHIT, not ET. And if we have time, I'll be able to like explain what it goes for.
Okay.
But those are the main links. And when I'm thinking about things that are coming up, well, my new song Waves just dropped on June 3rd. When it comes to my music, sometimes it confuses people because they wonder how I can be this like God-fearing warrior, like champion of Christ, but then I can like go ahead and turn around and also release some like pretty ratchet music like from time to time. But I'm here to tell you that like the living that you just did is not to be ignored. It's to bring you to a place where you can see that that's not healthy, but it's not to say that that's not to aid you in how to navigate certain things. Jesus wasn't ignorant is all I'm trying to say. And if I'm trying to reach people, I don't need to speak. I don't need to try to like work and talk to edify people or have an edifying conversation within the people within the body of Christ. That's fine. But those are the people that are saved already. So my job or our job is to go out and talk to people who still are not the most comfortable. And the best way I can do that is just showing that I'm still relatable. Like I'm knowing where you're coming from and the things that you've gone through. But I also know that might not be some of the things, depending on what you're doing, might not be the most healthy. Right. And I'm only saying that as a disclaimer because that song is in the grand scheme of like all the other songs that you might hear on the radio. It's still like PG, but it is a little raunchy or whatever the case might be.
Okay.
But it's still it's a slapper for sure. And I love my song. I have another song that's dropping and I got featured on it. It should be coming out in September. It's called Stream. And that was by my man Champ Live. He goes by Stream. Check him out. He's a great executive producer and like writer. He wrote for his ex-wife. And I think he almost got signed by Bad Boy at one point back in the day. But like everything is a decision, right? And everything happens for a reason. It's just there's a culture within the industry that just didn't seem to really fit with who he wants to be it's not aligned with who he wants to be as a man and an individual. So I respect him for that. But Stream is coming out like somewhere mid September, so look out for that. Waves is dropped. The video is dropped. There's going to be a video for Stream as well. I also have like 4 or 5 other songs that are already like just sitting in my catalog as we're looking for the right time to drop those. One of those might be like a house dance song that's kind of based on like Honestly Nevermind, Drake's new album. So those are some of the things that I'm very excited to like be working on musically. On the other aspects that are things like if anybody at all needs an audio engineer in the Houston area, I'm a live sound engineer. So anybody can look me up or reach out to me and I can be able to help you with your live sound and installations. But then also the other thing I'm working on is because I am an educator, if there's any other educator, administrators, or anybody that's looking for an after school program, I do this. This is clearly what I do. This is my apartment, and then I have my bedroom. Okay, so like I created a studio within my apartment, so I have an office space to devote myself to this craft. So I know how to teach this stuff, and I have a program called Triple C. It's partly teaching them how to create music or beats and music production, but there's another part of it that I kind of always keep to myself unless I'm actually pitching it. Because I think the Lord did me well by gifting me with that. So I'm just keeping it sacred, stewarding it correctly.
Exactly. And that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And so just throwing this out there. And once you get blessed at a certain point, I would definitely love to see maybe you do a 501c3 with that part.
So when it comes to nonprofits, I've explored that. And so just as an FYI for people that don't know what that is, that's what it is. It's the 501c3. That's what it's called, right? Is the form that you would go ahead and fill out if you're trying to create a nonprofit organization. And so that's part of and that form is part of its articles, or I think you would do it for the articles of incorporation or whatever the case, the founding of it. So legally there are different things, and for tax purposes, there are different things that you can or cannot do with a nonprofit. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. Now, to come back to your statement, Rachel, is that one of the things that I've always thought about was that like retaining control, because I have such a specific like idea about what I want and how I would want this to look. So when you get a 501 C3, then when you go and you have a nonprofit, then you have to have a board of electives. And when you have a board of electives, then that means you also have to be able to be comfortable with yielding over control over that project or that over your overall like organization. I personally am just not at that point yet, because I think it would be a really good idea to do that. But also, why, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a game. It's called a nonprofit because you literally don't make money. Like as an organization, you can get a lot of money in, but if I get like $2 billion in 1 year, I have to do enough operations with that $2 billion to make sure I have no money by the end of the year, or I zero it out.
That's why I had said when you get to a level that you don't need the money. When you get to a level that the money isn't needed, I think that when you get to a level that the money isn't needed, when you're making enough money in different entities, the 501c3 will be, and we'll talk about it later off the air.
Okay.
You know, I love kids.
I'm saying you want to feed me and educate me. I'm willing to be educated now.
And so when I owned my daycare, we went to the schools for free, and we dropped some little nuggets in the schools, right?
Yeah.
And so what your program would do is you would go into whatever school, or the school you wouldn't want no school coming to you.
Okay.
For a lot of different reasons, but you would go to the school, and you don't have to give them your meat and butter. You would just give them the little piece of the pie to give them an education they're not getting at school. We'll talk later.
Okay.
And it might not be for you. Not everything is for everybody. I just throw it out there.
You did it. There's somebody out there.
There's somebody out there.
There's somebody out there today.
Let me tell you. Okay.
Oh Lord. That's hilarious.
When we get to a point, I believe in sometimes as Christians, we give more than we have, if that makes sense. And so I don't want people to fill somebody else's cup and their cup not filled. Yeah. If that makes sense. So,
that's biblical.
But when your cup is filled, the blessing, the overflow, it's where I see the 501c3s at. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
For all the babies, for that little person who can read, who can do music without even reading music. He just need that person to walk in and bless his soul. Does that make sense? And that's where that gap would come in. And it might not even be me or you.
Yeah, I'm here. Like, but you've been prophetic in these other aspects. So like that's why I stopped. I don't know if you saw it, but I went from like this to like, I'm like, I'm listening to you. I'm like, all right, go ahead.
Because God put in me 2 months ago a 501c3, and I'm not gonna put it out yet because, like you said, we gotta wait until we're done. But my 501c3 is gonna be the gap of other 501c3s. Right?
I got you.
And so what he explained was, I'm going to be the gap to help support people that's needing, if that makes sense, because I can see things because I've been places. And so that's what people don't understand. With you being a teacher, you have an insight in places that other people can't see. You can see holes that other people can't see.
100%.
And so when it says I changed my mind, when you go to work, people need to change their mind at their job and start looking at their job as a additive. Look at their boss. Learn from your boss. So if you do want to be a boss one day, what is it you like about your boss? What is it you don't like about your boss? What does you see what I'm saying? Like we go to work. I don't even like my job. What you don't like about it, baby? Because you need to be writing that down.
Yeah.
What you don't like about the system? What time are they opening? What time are they closing?
That's powerful.
I need you to change your mind.
Yes.
Because the people who change their mind, they're going to change their aptitude, and they're going to change their whole concept in 2023.
Yes.
Because they changed their mind.
Yes. And then, man, okay. That's why, okay now. With your shirt and your hoodie. and
I got you over there sweating, just looking at the hoodie.
You got it. Yeah, I'm just saying.
And so you giving a shirt away, right? You giving something away. What
so
you giving
the way
this audience
that
tonight?
I had done this was I wanted to give us a nice little game or whatever the case was, right?
Okay.
So give me a second really quick. Let me see if I can pull it up right.
All right, guys. So y'all better be ready. Y'all better I'm finna help y'all cheat. Get y'all pens and papers, because half my guests be making y'all remember stuff. Get your pens and paper, because he probably gonna make y'all remember something, okay? Oh, I hope y'all didn't have to have notes in the beginning. All right, so get y'all pen and paper out. Say what?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
me.
I can hear you.
Okay. So the way that it works is I have a question. Okay. Now the question is that the way that this works is you have to follow me on Instagram. Okay. If you follow me on Instagram, that's
okay. Guys, okay, y'all do me a favor. Do y'all
let
remember what
me
his Instagram is?
hold on, Rachel,
Yeah, because
because
you went out.
again, technology in 2022 is awesome, but apparently it's not doing exactly what it needs to be doing. So let me come back so I can just hear you one more time. Okay.
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 Did y'all hear his Instagram? If anybody heard it, can y'all drop it in the comments? Y'all know I forget everything. Yeah, see the face. So he's gonna have y'all follow him on Instagram. Now he said something about on Instagram, all his links is at the top. Y'all remember that, right? So y'all gotta keep that in mind. So he should be right back. So he's giving away. Let me see if I can find my little cheat sheet so I can tell y'all. So y'all actually have options to pick the giveaway. Nope, I don't have it on the screen. Golly. All right. So while we wait for him to come back, so for October, guys, if y'all know anybody who's experienced domestic violence, we're doing a roundtable event in October every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, we're just gonna do a roundtable, no pressure. It's gonna be just like we are now, not really kind of like roundtable, right? Because we are on the Zoom on the StreamYard, and we're gonna convert and just talk about it. All right, we back. So hold on, I see him.
Yes. So the way that this works is 3 steps. Really is I have one, just follow me on socials. So IG, TikTok, Twitter. Those are really the ones that I care about. Okay. IG, TikTok, Twitter. And I apologize for changing the camera angles and everything like that, but whatever. Then here's what I want y'all to do. Be one of the first of 3 people to inbox me to answer to this question. So, all right. On my song Waves, I mentioned a video game character and 2 anime characters. Okay. What are the names of these 3 characters? All right. So on my song with now, if you listen, you got a leg up, and that means you're a fan and you're a real one, and I like you. Okay. But if you don't, go ahead and listen to my song Waves. It's after one of the hooks, I could tell you. And just tell me the name of the 3 anime characters. I call it this. It hits me with this. Just tell me just inbox me the names, okay? And then y'all are good. And when you do, the first 3 people that do that will get access to some swag. So there's a there's a t-shirt. If you go to my website, there's like from one of my releases called Drop, and it's a peach t-shirt that's on there. It's a Bite Me t-shirt. There's a hat that I have that matches that. There's also another choice of a t-shirt, and if you're interested in doing that, just go to my website. You'll be able to see it. The t-shirts, where I collaborated with PowerNYC.com, and we made a Ratchet Gospel t-shirt, and that's based off of my last album. So pretty much you'll have your choice of t-shirts. You can get early access to one of the next songs that I'm about to drop, and you'll be like the only people that have it, which is really cool. Or I can give you an introductory beat making course. So pretty much the first lesson that I would have for my after school program would be I would teach you that lesson.
Can family participate?
Yeah.
Yes, family can participate. Okay. So yes, family can participate. And can you do your IG again for me?
Yes, Black Prophet, BlackProphet.cs.
Okay. So yes, family can participate. You have to follow TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, correct?
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, all 3 of those. And then you have to go in his inbox and the 3 animes from his song that just dropped.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah. Just tell me the name of the 3 characters. It's not, I can give you a hint. The hint, I'll be kind. The hint is that it might be somewhere after the first verse. Somewhere. Okay. Somewhere after the first verse, you should be able to find 3 names that I say that are of Asian sounding that you might go and be like, oh, those are anime characters or video game characters. Let's go.
So Today is Tuesday, so by
Yeah.
Thursday, he will send me the winner, and I will announce it on the page. He might tell y'all first, but I know by Thursday, and I will announce it and post it and give y'all a shout out. Woo woo!
Let's go.
Tasha said, "Hey."
Hey.
Ivy is the one who said, "Can a cousin participate?"
Yeah.
We're so glad to have y'all on. And so before we go, drop any question that y'all may have. Is there anything we missed before you drop us some nuggets of wisdom?
I think let me think. Let me see. I think we should be pretty okay in this aspect. So we should be all right. We'll be good to go.
So we talked about where to find your music.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the new one that's about to be released. We talked about the one that just got released.
Yeah, where to find my music actually is on all DSPs, which means digital service providers. But just I'm on Spotify, y'all. YouTube acts a little weird. I don't know what's going on, but like definitely on Spotify, definitely on Tidal, definitely on all other like streaming platforms. You'll be able to look up my name, and I'll be right there, and I pop right up on Apple Music and Spotify, no problem. Okay. So there's that. What's up?
No, go ahead.
That was it. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, okay. So Apple Music, and stuff like that. You could follow me on Instagram. I'm not Instagram, YouTube as well. If you would like, because I drop music videos. Again, my new music videos there, but I also have like some beats that are there. So like if you ever wanted to, it's like sometimes at my job, they'll play beats for the students. If you just want some ambient music or some music to play in the background while you're at work, you can play some beats from my YouTube page. That works too.
Okay. So what is your YouTube page?
It's still Black Prophet. So you go in and you type in Black Prophet. It should be able to pop right
up. Kendall say, "What's up?"
What's up, bro? That's my frat brother right there. All right, let's go.
I think that's the Kendall who was on the show.
Kendall,
did he write books? He wrote a book?
Mm-mm.
Oh, my bad. Hey, Kendall. Anyway.
He's going to at one point. That boy's a genius.
See, we claiming that one too, okay? We speaking all type of stuff into existence.
That boy is a genius, okay? I need you to put some all right, yeah.
Exactly. So we need you to give us some wisdom, some words of wisdom, some advice. What you gonna give us? Some secrets, some purposes. What you got for us today?
You know what, Rachel? I think about like all of the times that the keys, when we think about the keys to life, right?
Ooh, okay, that's good.
I'm just thinking about like what is.
Oh, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. He's gonna give us them keys, guys. He's gonna give us them keys, okay? So we're gonna wait for him to come back. Because we're not missing out on these keys. So guys, y'all better reach on and run over there.
I would be remiss to tell you like. And excuse me, I'm gonna be off camera for a little bit, just for 2 seconds, okay?
Okay.
I just think that like the whole things of like you saying what the keys to success, and I shared it a little bit in my intro, was just like making sure that you pursue anything that you do in life with zeal and purpose, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking about my major keys. I usually have those in school, and I call them the major keys. But I want to go over the things that you chase and are needing to do to go after that. So the first thing is like really figuring out. It's like I called it when you chase love, and I said that before. So really start to chase your passion and pursue what your passion is in life. And some people have a real hard time figuring out like what those things might look like, and I'm here to tell you that some of that looks like a bit of what. That's why I like sharing my testimony. Looks like getting back to like what those basics are, the things that are very important to you, the things that you love to do, the things that you did as a child. Okay, so I'm thinking like excuse me. it's like, so when you think about it and then chasing love and pursuing love, you want to go, you can have it all, but it's not, I say it like you can have it all without having too much. And I'm gonna put it here. And I'm thinking like when I got closer to 30, right? And excuse me, sweaty. Uh you can have it all without having too much. As I was getting closer to 30, I just got tired again, like compromising for joy. And then you get in the real meat and potatoes of it is that we think like, hey, I want to go to, and you spoke to this, hey, I have this dream, but I'm doing this at the other as well. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking that there was a point where I would just do stuff that I didn't want. I had this job. I had a job at Toys R Us, where I was just essentially treating like a paycheck. And that just wasn't fair to myself. And the funny joke is that you see me right now, I'm bald, right? But I always said, you know what, I'm bald because of Toys R Us. But I really did go bald at Toys R Us. I started losing my hair because I was stressing out. And then I started doing these jobs that would pay well, but necessarily weren't anything that I wanted to do. I was just trying to get good money. But what I've realized when accepting the Lord is that when you really find the things that you want to do, you really don't feel like you're working. Even when it's work, you're still way more tolerant and willing to do that work because it's something that when you sit down and you're actually doing it, you really enjoy it and love it. And so like, I just find that to be powerful. And then, so I said, I'm not going to live this way of like, I can do this, something I hate where I can do something that I love. I'm gonna do something I love so that I can love living. Because prior to that, something else I didn't share, when I saw low, I was very depressed. I was experiencing, I was in a deep depression when I was separated. There was a year when I didn't really have anybody to be able to come out and see me out in San Antonio. I had one friend, and then I had another person that said that they were friend, but they had an ulterior motive because they were attracted to me. So they kept trying to like leverage our friendship or my relationship with them to try to do something more that I wasn't really entertaining. So that's not really being a friend to me. So then I'm just thinking like also the other things, like the things that I used to equate with joy and happiness just didn't fill me anymore. So like I love playing video games. I liked like going to some of these other things. And I'm like, somewhere along the line, that was somebody's dream, right? So like you're having your podcast. There's somebody that's out there that might be watching this and be like, I always wanted to do a podcast. And I got tired of that feeling. You know what I mean? That filling out somebody else's dream instead of my own. So when I think about like the keys to success, I'm really thinking about you can have it all without having too much. Without having much, excuse me. The other thing that I would think about, and it's really only about 3 or 4 of them, I said there's always time, but the clock is the clock is ticking. And if I had to really summarize that, Rachel, I changed my mind. Okay? Like you said it the best, that it doesn't matter. Like you can be 65, 70, 80, decide, you know what, I want to be a chef. It doesn't matter. Y'all can do that. But it may not be easy, but that first step is always like really important to do. And so just make sure you do get after that first step, because that for me was a barrier for years, thinking about what happened, how many years did you waste not taking that first step, not changing your mind. And now you're still nowhere better for it, But if I changed my mind, I tried something that didn't work, at least I tried it and I know like, all right, well, it just didn't work. Or now I have another decision to make. Do I pivot, to try to make it work? Or there's like, maybe this is just not for me. Right. So I just really want to get to like that when I'm thinking about the time the clock is always ticking. There's always time. You can always change your mind, right? I don't want us to get in this narrative, especially in my generation where I keep hearing, I'm at that age group where I keep hearing like, man, you're lucky you don't have any children. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah. He's like, yeah, but you get to move. I don't want to hear that, right? If there's something that you really want to, because that almost discredits my walk and the things that I had to go through to get to this point. I may not have to be responsible for another life, but I'm responsible for my own. And that's hard enough. You're trying to navigate somebody else's. So don't discredit that. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to give credit and encourage those that might have a child or did not go to college or do not feel like they have the tools. You still have time. But I also want to tell you the clock is ticking. So if you're going to do it, if this is something that you really want to do, then just put your foot to the metal, your pedal to the metal, and make it happen. And when I think about the next thing, and if you have questions, y'all, just go ahead and drop them in the chat, or any comments about some of the things that I'm saying, then drop those in the chat, and that's totally fine. You know what's really cool as believers, Rachel? Y'all can hear me, right? Everybody's hearing me and stuff?
Adrian was just saying that thank you, and he appreciated. Keep up the good knowledge. That's all he was saying.
Hold on.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you talk? I don't know what's going on.
But we can hear you though.
Oh, are you unmuted? You. All right, you hear me, but I don't hear you though.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna keep rolling with it, y'all. Just try to make it happen. I don't know what's going on with the technical side, but I'll also just continue to say that it starts with a village. Like, as believers, what I was trying to say is that, I joked, and we were joking. I said 2 or 3 gather their spirits with us, but that's actual scripture, right? And I'm saying that to say that a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we think we have to do it all, because we do, but on the same token, we don't, right? So I want to say that, like, it starts with you. You always take that first step. You're responsible for that first step, because nobody's going to put that initiative and drive in you. But does that mean that if you're making a fashion business that you're going to be the marketer, that you have to be the person to market it? Starting out, yes, but no, right? Like, the best places are specialized. So it's about trying to find that team. And it took me 3 years to start to establish a team, just to start to establish a team. And I've seen the change already, just in terms of like what I'm able to do as an artist and as a creative. I'm also being able to see the change in my ability to network and have more opportunities. And you just have more, you can leverage people's talents to get more done. You're not going to be able to swim out here in this entrepreneurial world when you have by yourself, when you literally have teams of like hundreds of people to compete against. If you're able to do that, then you're a superhuman. Okay. For sure. And I think the last thing, and I was rambling a little bit and stammering, but if I were to say like what I'm really big on, and the whole thing that I wanted to just like focus on for this interview and in a real way, is just really that point of that, like, y'all can do anything you want in life. It really is that. It's that simple. And some people, regardless of your walk or the things that happen, if you trust God, and I know that some people don't subscribe to that, and that's totally fine. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to just give you a message and show you what happened with me and worked for me, and it might maybe be working for you. But trust the Lord, figure out what you really love to do, and go after the things that you really love to do and that you're talented at, and find a way to make that work. And then when you get to that place, because God put those gifts in you, just give honor back to him at saying, thank you, Lord, for me a bit, for having this opportunity. Like, I could have a very long-winded conversation about we can do this and then do this and that and the third. And I think that kind of was the plan, but something in the Holy Spirit was like, sometimes when you pray, it's better to keep your prayer short, because God already knows what you're going to add. He already knows the desires of your heart. And I think in this aspect, the Holy Spirit just hit me where it was another part where I could like flesh that out. But ultimately, I promised the Lord that if I ever got a platform to be able to speak, I just want to be able to say, like, regardless of all my music and anything like that, I would not be here if it was not for Jesus. You can do anything that you really want to do, as long as you're willing to actually not make the sacrifice, but actually go in and align your actions with your words.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me now?
I still, for whatever reason, Rachel, I cannot hear you. I can't. And you're off mute, right? What's the way to fix this? How can we fix this? You want me to use the chat?
So I want to thank Adrian and Kendall and Tasha and Ivy and Latoya and my Facebook user, all y'all for the comments in the chat. I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. I don't know if he's gonna dance us out or not. I think he's gonna come back on. We're about to dance out.
I got it.
You dancing us out?
You want me to dance? You want me to pop a lot? I'm popping a lot now.
Oh, and he's cheating too. He's standing up.
Okay.
He's cheating, y'all. He's cheating. Thank you, Latonya.
You got me excited. Hey, thank y'all for inviting me. I really do appreciate this. This is my first interview, so I was very excited.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You did great. You did great.
Thank you. You know, I did my best. I tried. There was a lot of technical difficulties, and there was some stuff to learn from this. So thank you. But I also just want to thank everybody that came out and supported. There are families from different area codes, and friends that are popping up and seeing stuff, and family, now y'all get to see a bit more different side of me too. So if you didn't know some of these things about me, now you get an update and get to know what your cousin or brother, uncle, nephew, whatever is. I'm not an uncle yet, so maybe that was prophetic, Adrian?
Latonya and Ivy said yay. I can't. So, all right. So you ready?
Yeah. We're going to do the dance? All right, Cora, come on.
Thank you for tuning in today. It would mean the world to me if you would leave a review, a rating, and subscribe to my show. Please share with your family and friends if you enjoyed the show. This show, A Mess in the Blueprint, is for you. So send me a message with the topics you want us to discuss. Until next time, y'all stay safe.
I'm gonna send y'all some